Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Andre Botma. I help small businesses make more money and pay less tax, and I am opening 6 spots for business coaching. So if you are interested, you can click in the comments. There will be a Calendly link and then you can speak to me about your business and see how we can maybe help you. Right, but today we are talking about corporate governance and who actually runs the business, because a lot of people seem to think, or at least when media portrays it, that the CEO seems to be the one that runs the business because they're in the public eye. But as you see in this video, in terms of corporate governance, there's actually a chain of command, and that's what we'll cover in this video. So the first one is we've got the shareholder. Shareholders are people who have shares in the company, or in the case of a sole proprietor, the only shareholder is the person. They own 100% because it's their business, it's that person. But in a traditional sense, a company, a LLC or a Pty Limited is owned by shareholders, right? So they are at the top of the food chain. Then underneath them, they will have a board of directors, which they appoint. So shareholders appoint a board of directors. It can happen that the shareholders are also members of the board, okay? But sometimes they are different people. Then the board of directors or the directors will then appoint people in the C-suite positions. So those are the CEO, the CMO, the CPO, the CTO, all those. So the chief executive officer or the chief marketing officer or the chief technical officer. And those are usually in the sections of what happens in a business. So one is an executive function, then there's marketing, there might be one for sales, there's one for product. And so those are your C-suite positions. Your C-suite guys then appoint managers or management underneath them to manage the expectations of the board directors. So the members of the board will appoint the C-suite team. The C-suite team works with managers, and then the managers will then give the tasks to the staff to do. Now, how do they earn? Shareholders earn money through dividends from the company's profits, right? So if a company does well, they get dividends, or sometimes the company decides not to pay out dividends, but rather reinvest the money into the business. So sometimes shareholders don't actually earn much from the business. Some businesses are growth businesses, and that means they're holding on to the money, reinvesting it rather than paying out dividends. Board members usually earn board fees or director fees, but the people who actually earn a monthly income from the business are the lower 3 ranks: your C-suite positions, your management positions, and then the people on the ground level who does the day-to-day work. They all get salaried, right? The regular monthly income. Right? But you can see the people who actually own the business, they carry the most risk, because if the business does not do well, the share value of the business can go down, or the business can go bankrupt, and so they lose the business, right? So they carry a lot of risk. And the people earning the monthly income actually has the lowest risk because they don't have ownership in the business. And the board members are actually responsible for carrying out the instructions of the shareholders. And so the shareholders can hold the board, the shareholders can hold the board accountable for where the business actually goes. But this is the actual corporate governance structure. Now, if you're a small business, how does this situation apply to you? If you're one person in your business, you are also the shareholder. You are the director. You are the C-suite person covering all these spots. You are the chief marketing officer. You are the CTO, the CMO. You are all the C's, right? You are also the manager, and you're also the day-to-day staff member, the person who actually does the work. And that is wild. That is why it is so difficult that if you're a small business owner, if you're a small business owner and you don't have any staff, it is very easy to get stuck in the day-to-day doing the work, and then you never end up doing any management. Like, how's the work? How is the work done? How can you improve the systems? Maybe there are some areas that could be improved. It could be improved. And so if you're one person, you are fulfilling almost more than you fulfilling basically 10 to 15 roles. Because in a traditional business, each one of these spots are filled by people. But in a small business, one person fulfills all these roles. If there's two people in the business, then it becomes important to decide who is actually going to be responsible for the sales and marketing, for bringing in clients, who is going to be responsible for the delivery, and how do you divide things up so that there isn't clashes. And so that is actually corporate governance for a small business, is really about how do you delegate the tasks so that all these areas are hit, right? The entrepreneur all the way down to the technician, the person who's actually skilled to do the job. Then lastly, the last thing I want to cover. So as I said, shareholders appoint directors, directors appoint the C-suite, C-suite appoint management, management appoint staff. The reporting goes the other way around. Staff members report to management. Management reports to the C-suite. C-suite reports to the board of directors, and the board of directors gives the shareholders report. So the appointments goes down and the reports and accountability goes up. And that is the situation. And so in a small business, it's a good idea to figure out exactly what spots in your company do you need help with, or where are you spending too much time and too little time. And that is often the reason why you get stuck. But I hope this was useful. Corporate Governance 101, things that they should have taught you in high school. All right, cheers. Up to the next one.